Welcome to another audiovisual series of teaching practice manual, specially packaged for DLC students preparing to proceed on a 6-week teaching practice. The title of this lecture is Classroom Management and Class Control, prepared by Dr. Izuku E.J., Department of Educational Management, University of Ibadan, Nigeria. Introduction. Effective teaching learning process cannot be accomplished without a good classroom management and control. What goes on in the classroom among the teacher, student, and all other resources in the classroom are important determinants of the success or otherwise of the teaching service delivery in schools. Parents, other taxpayers, the government and the society at large expect a great deal from the teacher, who is seen as one of the strongest instruments of societal reform. This is especially so when we consider the enormous resources devoted to educating the citizens. It therefore becomes imperative for the classroom teacher to be well equipped with appropriate strategies for managing the classroom in order to guarantee effective learning and ultimately help achieve the various national objectives. What is classroom management? Classroom management implies the effective and efficient utilization of all resources available to the classroom environment in order to ultimately achieve the goals and objectives of the teaching and learning process in schools. The goal of the teaching-learning process is to ensure that pupils or students assimilate the content delivered to them by the class teacher under congenial atmosphere, which will in turn influence their behavior positively in line with the national objectives. The classroom manager, that is the teacher, is effective when he or she has achieved the set objectives. On the other hand, he or she is efficient if the achievement is made at the cheapest possible cost. Cheapest costs in this case could be in terms of time spent, resources used, etc. Let us look at roles of the teacher as a manager. Management is a process of planning, organizing, leading, coordinating, and controlling the efforts of organization members to achieve set goals and objectives. A manager is therefore seen as a person who plans, organizes, leads, coordinates, and control efforts of subordinates towards the achievement of a set goal. In addition to the above definition, the teacher as a manager also has the responsibility of ensuring that students and other school resources are utilized judiciously in such a way that the goal of the school system is achieved. As a student teacher, you perform the function of a manager at micro level in the school system. As a class manager, therefore, you are expected to perform the following functions. Number 1. Plan your teaching activities. This involves deliberate effort to set activities according to priorities for future action in an attempt to minimize wastage and increase productivity. Lack of or inadequate planning could be very costly. For instance, a teacher who failed to plan his lesson notes to be delivered as at when due may end up misplacing priorities and hence may be providing the wrong information at that point in time. He or she may lose focus and may waste the very limited teaching time on the non-relevant activity. The major interests of planning in the school centers are 1. Achieving results from the teaching and learning process. 2. Organizing the learning activity. 3. How to prove the performance. 4. Interaction and satisfaction of the client, that is students, as well as 5. How to utilize facilities in order to enjoy the utility value that the facility possesses. The benefit of effective and adequate planning, among others, include minimizing wastage of time and other teaching resources. Secondly, organize your students and materials. This involves the arrangement of work in an orderly manner. A good classroom manager, that is, the teacher, should be able to arrange the class in such a way that orderliness and fairness will be maintained in the classroom. Both students and materials for teaching should be organized in such a way that no student or pupil is at disadvantage. For instance, it may be needful for the classroom teacher to consider or take note of the height or sight status of certain students in class and place such students where they may not be unduly excluded from the teaching activities. Next is to coordinate your students and activities. As a student teacher, a classroom manager, you have the responsibility of synchronizing or harmonizing both the students' resources and activities in the classroom. This is important in order to ensure that teaching and learning takes place in a congenial atmosphere devoid of rancor and pandemonium. This managerial function of the teacher prevents disconnection among the various interactive activities within the classroom and thus bringing out successful teaching learning process in the classroom. Leading or commanding activity of the teacher. The term commanding was common in the classical era. However, a more friendly word used today is leading. This involves providing guide or direction for others to emulate or follow. It is the responsibility of the teacher to provide guidance or direction to the students so that they, that is, students, can comprehend the learning program provided. Teachers are supposed to ensure that students are given the right direction. This must be done with the interests of the students in mind, as a father leads a child. It is intended to show the way to the students so that they may not fall into costly mistakes. This helps to promote cordiality and mutual respect. We have been discussing your expected functions as a teacher and classroom manager, and the last on the list is your control mechanism. Control involves regulating an activity in order to ensure that the expected result is obtained through the laid down procedures and methods. This is to avoid deviation from the expected result. Control is a security mechanism, policy, or procedure that can counter system attack, reduce risk, and resolve vulnerabilities. It helps to safeguard the system. The teacher must exercise effective control of the classroom situation and should monitor outcomes and make necessary corrections wherever there is deviation from the norm by means of a feedback mechanism. Why do you have to manage your classroom effectively? The underlisted are some of the reasons why you, as a classroom teacher, should ensure effective class management and control. You are expected to utilize available resources in the best possible way. Resources are usually limited in supply. Therefore, it is important for the classroom manager to ensure the prudent use of these scarce resources. You are to enable learners achieve the right level of potential abilities. Effective classroom management enables students to discover their ability and what they are capable of achieving in a given cognitive environment. You are to encourage good relationship with the class members. High level of social interaction and healthy completion is made possible through effective classroom management and control. You are also expected to encourage hard work. It creates an atmosphere of competition among the students, thereby inculcating the culture of hard work. Also, ensure the entertainment of objectives for which the topic was taught. And lastly, you are expected to avoid wasting of time. Time resources is the most fragile of all resources available to man, so if misused, could spell grave consequences for the entire system. The topic we have been discussing is classroom management and class control. As we round off the discussion, let us look at some available strategies for effective classroom management. 1. Devote quality time to plan your lesson. 2. Good classroom structure. 3. Awareness of respect of students' rights. 4. Use of appropriate instructional method. 5. Use of appropriate instructional materials that possesses expected qualities. 6. Establish classroom rules and procedures. 7. Good mastery of subject matter. 8. Avoid mannerism. 9. good knowledge of learners, that is, their individual differences, their names. 10. Provide safe and comfortable classroom climate. Avoid the use of threat. 11. Maintain healthy student-teacher interaction. 12. Be friend of all learners, but not a special friend to any. 13. Cultivate voice. Be audible enough. 14. Be observant and sensitive to every activity during teaching. In conclusion, the classroom is the center of the school activities. Thus, what goes on in the classroom between the teacher and the students will go a long way in determining the success or failure of the school system. Moreover, parents, educational investors, taxpayers, governments, and the society at large are not only concerned with the prudent use of scarce resources available to the school, they also expect that the use of these resources produce the expected results at the cheapest possible cost. This is where the role of the classroom manager, that is the teacher, is highly appreciated. Classroom management and control is an important aspect of the teaching profession. Without an effective classroom management, the heavy investment in the school system could produce loss rather than gain. With this, we have come to the end of this lecture titled Classroom Management and Class Control Practisium. It was prepared by Dr. Isuku E.J. from the Department of Educational Management, University of Ibadan, Nigeria. This has been a production of the Distance Learning Center, University of Ibadan, and we say thank you for your patience.